Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are covering how to handle client-only code in NextJs 15 using the use current directory and other best practices. So, your component run only when they should be in the browser. Let's get into it. So first of all, let us understand what is client-only code. So here you can see that just like how some operations are best kept on the server side, like accessing database or secure API, there are some things as we must keep on the client side only. Client-only code is meant to be run strictly in the browser. It relies on browser-specific features like DOM manipulation, the window object, and the local storage. These features do not exist on the server as they are the part of a client-side code. So if you try to run them during the server-side rendering, you will likely to run into errors or you will face the errors on the browser side. So running the client-only code on the server can break your app during the build or the lead to runtime issues or the errors. So that's why it is important to isolate such code to ensure it only run on the client. To avoid accidental server fault, usage of browse dependent code, there is helpful package called the client only code. So let us do a small example so that you can easily understand how the client code only package helps us to keep the code on the client side, not on the server side. So let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. So here you can see that first of all we can build a new file with the name client utils and inside the util folder. So here you can see we can build a client code only. So we can give a name with the name. We have the client dash utils .ts. Okay, and after that inside that we can build a small function. So we can give a function to it like export. We can give a export constant and client side function. Okay, client side function, and inside it I give a control log statement displaying number of value like windows, use windows like window object, comma, or use local storage. And after that I can return some statement such as the client result. So we can identify that this text which are coming is coming from the client component. So now we can just return it to observe. So my first thing is to build a client only code. So we have built inside the utils folder and inside the source folder with the client util.th. So let's implement this particular code in the client browser. So how we have to do that? So we need to go to the client code. We have the server route. We have the client route. So we can implement this client side function to our client route page. So let's move on to the page. So here let's implement that. So for this we can import. We can import client. So we can import client side function. Okay. Inside that we can use a constant variable like constant. I would be taking a result or equal to client side function. So and just call a function. Inside the router page I'll give a new I can take an empty fragment so that we need to add to another div for it. So we can cut that particular and paste it here, and inside this I give a paragraph to it. Inside that I can display a simple result which we are getting from the function which we have created with the name client side function. So this is client side function. This function coming from the utils folder which we have created for the client utils ts file. So this will return the client result. So let's move on. Let's run the server npm runtime. Well, let's wait for the server to start and let's see what we see on the browser when we visit the localhost 3000 client route. So wait for a second. Now we are to visit localhost 3000 flash. So let's move on to the browser. So here you can see that client result which is coming from the client CAD function, and it is also though the control log statement is still left as use window object and use local storage. So this particular thing is working properly. It is coming from client utils.ts which we have just built inside the utils folder under the thoughts in our application. So this is working fine. So now let us keep this particular code to be used on the client side, not on the server side. For this we have just created, we are just want to install a new package with the name client only. So let's install that. We can write npm installed client only package and press enter over here. So the thing is that it will install the client only package on your side. Now your client only package has been installed successfully. So for this, this code, so that this code cannot be used by the server, you can use client code, you can use the client only on top of that. Okay, save it to it. You can use import client only. Okay, so here you can see import client only has been working has been imported successfully. Now let's implement this particular client side function on the server route. So for this we have to go to the server route folder and we have to go to the page.tsx. So now let's call this particular function over here import. I can call client side function. Okay, now inside that we can give a constant, we can give a client result. You can give a client result as a variable because the result is already given to the server side function, and we can type client side function. It is just it is a function, so we need to call to the curly braces. So now to the curly brace, now we can just call it after the result. We can give a small space, and we can in the curly braces we can display the client result over here. Now save it and let's see. So let's visit the localhost 3000 server route on the browser. So let's go move on to the browser. So client is working fine. So we need to go to the server route. So here, if you see that we are giving you compile error over here also. And if we move on to the browser, so here you can see that it is showing that you are importing a component that import client only. It only works in the client component, but none of it parent are marked as you mark with use client. So they are server component by default. So with the help of by importing the client only code, you tell the server, you tell the NextJs to not to implement on the server side because that particular code could be implemented on the client side only, not on the server side. So if by mistake you have add that particular code on the server component, then it will give you the errors as you shown in the browser. And here you can see that import client only works on the client side, and this is all about the client code only. So which in this video you come to know that how you safely enter client only code in NextJs 15 using the use client directives and other best practices to avoid server side error. It will, if this help you out, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so you never miss an update or a NextJs tip or React developer guide. Got a question or your approach? Drop them in the comment below. I will always hearing from you. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.